Hi guys, welcome back to Crazy4Crew. Today we have a really special guest, Jade Curley, and he comes to you. And I think what's so interesting about him is because he started as a production assistant. And if you notice, all our positions say start as a production assistant. So we finally have one for you, and he can tell you all the things you know and the benefits it is from being a production assistant and being on set. We hope you like this episode. Welcome, Jade Curley. Hey, welcome to the show.
Hi, Miss Collins. I'm from Los Angeles, California, Venice Beach. Before I got into the film industry, I worked for Costco for 8 years, from 19 to 25. Left there, moved to San Diego to try something new, and that was not successful. Came back to Los Angeles, went and tried to live on the east side in Glendale. Got a job as a store manager at Pier 1. I was doing that for a while. And then from there, I ended up working for my family's business called Venice Cookie Company. And it was a bakery, and we made gourmet chocolates and cookies and things like that for years. And then I got into the restaurant business after that and sous chef for a while. And then after that, I was over that. And then I got sick with cancer, and while I was healing, I was on some family friends' property in Topanga working, making like a rock river for their property. And this guy saw me lifting these heavy rocks, and he was like, yo, man, you're real strong. You want a job? And at the time I was dead broke, sick, just recovering. And I took the job. He was like, I'll give you $150 for an hour of your time. I was like, heck yeah, I'm there. Ended up going to do the job, not knowing what it was or anything. And it turned out it was layout board. And I killed the job. And the owner of the company was Simon, and he ran a company called Laid Out. And he hired me as an independent contractor because I wanted to be self-employed. And then I started doing layout, and still didn't even know what I was into. And one day I happened to come to set at the same time that the production crew was setting up, and we were doing layout. And I saw all these people coming through the doors with cameras and equipment and just trotting around. I was like, what's going on here, dude? And they're like, we're gonna do a commercial. We're filming a commercial. And then I was like, Hollywood? That's my friend. They're like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So then from there on, I stayed with Lay It Out Board, and the rest is history. Layout is basically like you go into someone's home that a crew is going to film at, whether it be a commercial, feature, or an episodic scene or episodic scene. And we basically gift wrap the house so that when the crew comes through, we lay out mats, we cover railings, we cover walls, and make sure that the crew doesn't bang, hit, or ruin someone's house while we're renting it and shooting in it. There was this producer by the name of Lisa Maria Cabrera, and we used to do she was one of our layout board clients, and I would always go to her shoots, do her layout, and work really hard. And she would kind of be watching me. And one day, I don't know what was going on, but her PAs just were not getting it done. And so I had laid out the house, and she needed help. So I started taking out trash, and I started moving furniture, whatever they needed. I was right there paying attention and just there to do it. And as I was leaving that day, she said, hey, you want to be my PA? And I was like, well, how much are you going to pay me? And then she was like, told me a rate. And at the time, that was a lot of money to me at the time because I didn't have anything. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I didn't even know what a production assistant was. I took my first job and nailed it. Like, she was like, I'm firing everybody. You're going to be my personal assistant and my set PA. And I worked for her for like, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years. And one day we happened to have a shoot on 204 studio, and she fired all her PAs. It was just me. And she did stills world. So I didn't even know there was a stills world. I didn't know there was a video world or motion world. I didn't know anything. I didn't know. So anyways, I was working, and that day I had cleaned up lunch, filled the coolers, ran an errand, all within an hour. And another producer by the name of Susan Holbert, I think her last name is, was watching me. And she was shooting an Old Navy commercial next door in the next studio over. She comes up to me and she goes, where's all the other PAs? I go, I don't know. What do you mean? Because I didn't even know there was supposed to be more PAs, you know? She goes, I just watched you do 3 hard tasks in an hour, and I have like 20 PAs over here that haven't done anything. Can I hire you? You want to come work on my next set? And she's all, get with my PM, give her your name. And I did that. And then she hired me on her commercial, which was a big Capital One commercial, one of the first productions that I had ever been on. That was like huge. And on that commercial, I was given a task, and I was green. Like, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was doing it. And they had forgot about a special crew they had aside, and they needed like coolers and all this food like set up. So they had put me on the task. And I just like went out in my car, bought all this crafty stuff, set up crafty for them, and just took care of them by myself the whole time while they had another set over here. And from that day forward, I remember the whole crew coming up to me and they're like, what do you want? What are you doing in this industry? Like, you're a super PA, I guess that's what they would call you. I was just like, I'm just doing my job, you know? Like, they're like, your work ethic is impeccable. Where are you going? And I said, well, I've always wanted to be a director since I was 8. That was the first thing I wanted to do. Just never knew how to get into the industry. So I just said, well, if I'm here, I'm going to the top. You know, I want to be a director. And they said, you're going to go to the top. We're going to see you at the top. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to be very successful. As a production assistant, some of the things that you do on set is make sure everything is ready and set up to go, starting down the line for the producer, the clients, the agency, for the crew, our individual crews like grip, electric, sound, scripty, director, assistant director. You are responsible to make sure that everything is there, set up, so we have a clear, easy day, you know, to shoot. Like, nothing is a problem. You make sure you get breakfast for some of the crew. You set up, you know, all the pop-ups. You set up lunch. You run errands if need be. If you need to get coffee for the client agency, something we might have forgotten that we might need for the shoot, you can go to another studio or production and pick up, you know, whatever you may need for the set or for the shoot for that day. You take care of your crew. Make sure that everybody has water when you're in the heat. Make sure everybody has umbrellas when it's raining. You're right there. You're everybody's right-hand man. You're the first AD's right-hand man. They call you. You're there in a flash of a light to make sure that whatever is needed is taken care of, and is taken care of immediately. Definitely. I would cry about it because I'm so grateful. Yeah. You're able to learn if you take it in and you are present and you really want to do something within this industry, anything you want to do, you can do by becoming a production assistant. I feel like being a production assistant has given me, I didn't go to school for film. I was going to school to be a doctor before I started in the industry as a production assistant. And I look young, and I'm not gonna say my age because I'm definitely gonna be someone in this industry, and I don't want people to know my age. But it has opened up so many doors. If you come in and you know what you want to do, and you use your resources and talk to the right people, you can do anything in this industry that, like, your mind, you didn't think you could do. I'm gonna cry because it's like, I'm in a place right now where I never thought I would be. And I came in this industry lost. I didn't know. But every set, I made sure I went up to the first AD, I went up to the director, I went up to the producer, I introduced myself, I had a positive attitude, I wanted to be there, I wanted to work hard, I wanted to learn every single department. When I got in, I wanted to do art, and I thought I'm an artist, so I thought like that's what the art department was. But when I found out what it was, you guys work your asses off, by the way. It's a hard job, and every job is hard. Being a PA is the hardest. I've learned how to work on my anger management, my temper, my mouth, my etiquette-ness. Being a PA has grounded me. It has given me a purpose, and I believe it's the best stepping stone to come in as a PA and learn. Like, if you really want to be something in this industry, PAing is where it's at, because you're like free to roam. You're free to just go wherever you want. Yeah, you have access to everything. And if I was one of those PAs where, like, I'm not hanging out on the truck and just sitting there and doing my job, and then I was doing my job and I'm right in front of next to the director, next to the first AD, next to the PM, I'm everywhere, next to Scripty. It's an opportunity, it's school. Yeah. It's free school, and you're getting paid. All those different departments. If you're serious, people don't waste their time. I'll tell you that, because everybody wants it. So, you really have to be focused. You have to be dedicated. And you have to take the heat. It's not an easy job. It made me realize, because I'm a loner, I love people, I don't like people as much, because you just never know what you're gonna get. And in the industry, you work with tons of people. You can have sometimes 100 to 250 people on a crew, and that's plus the background, plus the talent. It's a lot of energy you're interacting with on a daily, that I wasn't used to. And so it helped me just realize, jump out of your shoes. Why don't you get a different perspective? Why don't you get to be worldly, because you meet people from all over the world. You learn new things. It just really opened up my heart, because I was a very closed person. I don't like to be bothered much, but now I'm like, yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, I would love to do that. I'm just more present, more open, more accepting and loving, and not angry, not an angry individual. That's what peeing has given me. Before, I remember when I first started peeing, I wasn't the best. I didn't have the best attitude, because I was learning. I didn't know. It's kind of like, being a PA is kind of like, for me, it was like military, because it's like, I have to listen to all these people and I can't say anything. And I just have to do it, even if I don't like it, even if I think it's stupid, even if it's getting on my nerve, whatever it was. Like, I would talk back from time to time in the beginning, and I had to learn the hard way, because I almost got blacklisted a couple times because of my mouth and my attitude. And I would argue with people, one, because I have a certain degree of like work ethic, and if for me it's like, I don't like being on sets with others that don't work at least on the same level that I work, and if they don't, I tend to like argue. So I had to learn how to help others that were not as didn't have a great work ethic as me, or wasn't as passionate. I had to set my feelings aside and just like learn to like get along with my peers and understand like why they might be feeling the way they're feeling that day, and help. Instead of being a negative, why don't I just choose to be a positive, and maybe that'll spread and everybody else will be positive. And most of the time it does. When you come to work with a positive attitude and you spread positive energy, it usually sprinkles down. Couple of avenues that could help if you're interested in PAing would be streetlights, manifesting works, also layout board. Get into Matman, find a layout board company, because they're part of Local 80. So if you want to just start doing layout board, and then, hey, you might meet a producer or you might meet a director on set and ask them if you could PA for one of their next productions. That's another avenue. And when you get into Matman or laid out or layout board, you can get into a union. You could get into Local 80, and Local 80 also has other departments that are connected to them that you can eventually grow within that. Those programs, I believe, are for, streetlights. I know are for a program that, like, say you've come out of the system, or correctional facility systems, and those individuals can go to streetlights, and they have a program, I believe, and I believe it's like, I don't know the curriculum of what it is. I actually wanted to have a special guest from Streetlights come today, but he couldn't come, and explain it. But they have a program that I believe lasts about a couple, maybe 3 to 6 weeks, and they teach you how to be a production assistant, and they teach you production, like just from the top to the bottom is like, what a producer does, what a production manager does, what a production coordinator does, and talks about all of the other departments within production, that you can fall into, and they teach you basically how to be a production assistant in these programs. And then from there, they get jobs for you and put you out into the field. So they're really, really good programs. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know about these programs, and it's word of mouth. I'm learning, but I know that a lot of the people that come out of the system, or I'm not sure if they have like drug and alcohol connected to that too in the system, but it's mostly for those individuals that like came out of the system that would have a hard time finding a job in just normal society, like at a grocery store or a warehouse, where people will turn you down because they look at your background and be like, oh, you have a felony, we're not hiring you. Where in the industry, we don't do that. It's a open door for people to come and start a new life and start a new career and fulfill their dreams and their goals. So this is all fresh and new for me as well. I decided to start using my pronouns in 2020. It's been very bumpy. for me, I have no expectations. You know, I know who I am. I know who I carry myself outside of work. I have some productions that acknowledge it and use it, and I have some that don't, which is fine. Personally, for me, I used to be very defensive about it and like really hard stone, like this needs to be acknowledged, you know, this, that, and the other. But I feel like it is an open place. It is accepted. But it's all something we're all learning. You know, we're all learning to navigate it. Me personally, I'm learning to navigate it. But I do feel protected. I do feel safe. I do feel that it is open. I do feel that productions are starting to acknowledge the pronouns of he and him, she, her, they, them, and take it in consideration, putting it on call sheets, making sure crew and cast, like I just got off a shoot where we had a transgender person a part of the talent, and they went by she, her, and we were all told and acknowledged like this person is she, her, or they, and please use their pronouns. And everybody, sure, yes, accepted it with open arms, loving. So yeah, it is something that is starting to be acknowledged in the industry. And it's a big deal. You can be yourself. You don't have to be afraid to just be, because we're all here it's a family, you know, it's like one love. Number one thing that I've heard from day one is attitude. When you can be whoever you are, you know, but as long as you come to set every day with a positive attitude and respect every individual on set, you'll go very far. Attitude is the key thing. I really can't say anything else as far, and just want to be there and want to work hard and want to get along with everybody and make magic happen together, because after you've made that magic happen and you get to watch that on TV, is the most magical feeling you can receive. And you remember like, oh yeah, I did that with Cody, or oh yeah, I did that shoot with Diane. That was so fun. We had a great time. It might have been super hot or rain and hail, but we were all laughing. We were having a great time, and everything was in order, and everybody had a positive attitude, and it became a team and a family. And I've been a production assistant for 4 years. I've worked, and I still am a production assistant. I just got off a job that I was a PA. I hold that job to the highest utmost. I think I've made it to the top, and now I don't mind going back to the bottom. I think you appreciate your job more when you've seen what's up there, and knowing that you are eventually gonna be one of those individuals is the most empowering thing that can be given to you.
I think you've been very informative too, because to me that's where it starts.
Yeah.
You know, you are the beginning. You are the alpha.
Yes.
So I really appreciate you being here, and I'm sure that this will offer a lot of people help who just had no idea where to start.
Right.
You know.
So
that's why we're doing this show, because I remember how it is trying to get in the industry, and you just have nowhere to start. You don't know anybody, you don't know what to do, and you've offered us some good resources, and we really want to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.